Worlds. That recently came out, and with Discovery being out and Picard, I was kind of hesitant to watch Strange New Worlds, and honestly, I'm glad I watched it. I would recommend anyone to go see this. Strange New Worlds takes a different approach, and honestly is really satisfying and feels like older Star Trek things. Or if you haven't seen any older Star Trek stuff, it feels like the Orville, which is very traditional in the makeshift. What really helps this out is instead of having like an overarching plot that Discovery does, what's Strange New World does is it puts in episodic things, and it's not afraid to do exploration. And what Star Trek's always been about is they're explorers going about the galaxy and discovering new things out in the reaches of the depths of space. So it's really cool to go and see them go back to those roots and see that those things still work in modern times, basically. And really, when it comes back, when it comes back down to watching Strange New Worlds, I think what helped the most was the cast. Bringing back, was it Captain Pike, was really nice, and you see him in the original series, you see him in the original Star Trek series, but he also shows up in Discovery, and I really liked him in Discovery, and that's probably my favorite season when he was there. He's just a really cool captain, and he's kind of like down to earth. I'm gonna make you an omelet type of guy. Let's sit down and eat. I like those episodes where the crews are just talking to each other, everyone's just being people, and that's what makes it really cool. And the exploration part of the show is every episode is different, where they are exploring strange new worlds. Would you look at that? And I think that's really neat, because they have some things that go from horror elements to more silly comical elements and everything in between. And there's that, they have that old Star Trek trope where they're kind of pushing the agenda that, you know, all you have to do is be good, but it's not so in your face how Discovery did it. So Strange New Worlds plot is really good. Even though it's episodic, there's still this character growth that each of the cast members have to go through. It's not as prevalent. I don't think it's as strong or as emotionally gripping, and that's probably because of the episodic nature, but it's really cool to see the crew and to see everyone interact with one another, and you kind of can't help but be happy to see them interact with one another. And that leads to the cast. I think the cast is really great. Each one of the characters I like. There are stakes involved, and they all have their own personal issues that they have to get through throughout the season, which means you're not just watching one person's problem and listening to everyone tell that person that they're wrong just for them to prove otherwise. So the show, it asks questions. It has some plot twists to it, and it really pushes characters' agendas and forces them to think outside of their own comfort zone, which I appreciate, because some people may put themselves in those shoes of those characters. And other than that, the show itself looks fantastic. I think it's getting to the point where like TV is starting to look like movies, and so we're holding a real high standard for them. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, just every once in a while they'll do like an awkward shot just to show off the set. But the set looks fantastic. They redesigned the the Enterprise, and it really looks great. It looks modern, looks sleek, it looks like something from the future, but it still looks like the Enterprise. So it doesn't look old. It doesn't look outdated. I don't know, sometimes when you'll watch, I don't know, even when I watch Star Wars or something, and you look at some of the things that they wear, and you're like, it's a bit outdated. Maybe it's not as modernized, but they did a real good job at modernizing Star Trek, and it still has the old traditional feeling to it without losing any of its other stuff. Honestly, of all the things that I've watched recently, Star Trek Strange New Worlds has to be like one of my favorite things. That it's fully out now, so if you're thinking about watching it, I 100% recommend it. I'd give it, I don't know, arbitrarily looking at numbers, like a 9 out of 10. It's fantastic. Go check it out.